Good morning. Welcome to, oops, stepping on things. Welcome to the garden. So this is part 2 of my getting ready to move the garden series. And that step is going to be to sort of stage the garden. So I'm actually going to go ahead and plant some of my containers, some of the different plants out into the raised beds. I need to get the containers emptied out and ready to be actually packed by the movers. I am going to take a lot of my terracotta containers and galvanized steel containers. I want to keep all of those, so I need to just empty out the containers. I've got a bunch of arugula here, which, like, for this, I think I'm just gonna harvest this arugula. It's delicious and it's gonna be a great thing to eat, but it's not really worth, I don't think, planting it out. But some of the stuff, like these ivy vines, the cabbages, I think they'll be actually pretty if I just like plant them into the beds. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, and then just empty out all the containers so that I can have everything organized, and then hopefully the movers can just come grab the containers and take them to the next garden. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah, it's just basically the next step. So I'm gonna go grab some bags and some things and let's get it all set. All right, so for this, I'm gonna end up with some leaves in this salad. That's okay. Just pop up. This is always one option if you don't want to do the cut and come again method. I usually don't just take it all out like this, but it is one method to harvest greens, and it's fast and easy. Okay, so I'm gonna take off the chicken wire. This worked so well. This was really a great thing for, you know, of course I did have some issues with squirrels eating my actual like my actual leaves on some of my greens, but the chicken wire covering worked super well. That was pretty nice. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. I don't know if I'm gonna take that chicken wire with me because I don't know if my next garden is going to have an issue with squirrels. So I do have some lettuce growing in these beds. I have a few things growing, but I also have a lot of this potting soil from these containers. And unfortunately, being where I am in an urban setting, I have some capability of, like, I guess, repurposing potting soil, but not a ton. So what I actually may end up doing is just putting some of this potting soil into these raised beds. My raised beds are also not completely full, so I think it might look nice to have the raised beds be full, and I'll be able to actually kind of recycle the potting soil. And I'm just gonna throw in these little stems, because they will just actually act as a little bit of a I don't know, it's just kind of like little compost. They won't cause a problem. One year I actually took all of my like leaves and clippings and pulling, you know, the tomato stems that you pull out and everything, I took all of them and I just dug some holes, basically dug trenches in the middle of my garden beds, and then put all of my put all of those little clippings and stuff in the holes, and then covered it back up, and by spraying, everything was gone, everything was clear. It was really a cool way to compost. So it does actually work too if you have a setting like I do, where, you know, it's an urban garden and you don't have a lot of room to like repurpose potting soil. That's something you can do, and it works. It's great. Okay, so we're just gonna take this now. I will pull out. I'm gonna replant these violas. Those will be nice and pretty. All right. Beautiful. And I will rake all of this flat. I'm gonna keep working. Well, the garden is looking very different than when I started. I need to turn these back upright. I just rinsed out a bunch of the containers. The containers are empty. The raised beds are full. The raised beds actually look really good because they're super full with all the potting soil, so I'm excited about that. I'm probably gonna have to come back out here and like pile up all the terracotta pots, sweep again, hose down the rocks and everything, so I'm not like done. But a bunch of trash bags of like, these are just my empty grow bags and some of the chicken wire and stuff. I tried to put as much, like almost all of the potting soil back into the garden so that I wasn't just wasting the potting soil, so that feels good. And then I think I'm gonna take this down and pack it up. But this is the state of the garden right now, so I'm gonna need to come back out here and do another big tidy up. But as you can see, the raised beds are just fresh and clean, and then I'll probably come back out, I think, too, with some more mulch, because, you know, mulch just makes everything look good. So I'll probably remulch the whole garden, but at least I got a big start, a big start with clearing everything out. And I think these containers I'm just gonna leave for now. Hey there, it is a couple days later, a little bit chillier. I'm out here, girl and I, we're gonna try to get the garden picked up. I've got so many pots everywhere, so I'm gonna try to get this all tidied up and then I'll check back in. All right, so I did not get as much done out here as I had wanted to. I did get the worm bin cleared out a little bit, and so I washed those out again. I'm gonna need to come out and like hose down the stones and everything, but I'm not there yet. I did kind of organize, I guess, my next steps, which is all of the containers that I'm going to be taking to the next garden. So I am gonna take all my terracotta pots with me, so I just piled them all up. I think it's kind of a mess, but I think I'm gonna move all this into the garage and put it in a little bit more of an orderly pattern so it's all there. It's just it takes time. It always, I don't know, these kind of projects always take a little longer than you think, so I'm not even quite at the mulching stage yet, which I was hoping I would get to, but that will be like the very last piece of the puzzle. I just need to move all of the things that I'm going to be taking with me into the garage, and obviously rehome. I have a few like plastic containers that I don't think I'm gonna bother taking with me. It is sort of one of my goals. Baby girl is trying to reach for the mud puddles. It's sort of one of my goals to get my garden. It was one of my goals for this coming year anyways, no matter where my garden was to get my garden to a place where I really am not using a lot of plastic. I'd love to be using more sustainable materials. I don't know, just to kind of keep my garden like that. So I think the plastic containers, I'm just going to find some more homes for them, and then they'll be, I won't be growing in those. I'll try to invest in some bigger terracotta pots, but I have a feeling I'm starting to plan out my renter's garden for next year, which I think is going to involve some raised beds, but I doubt I'll be doing quite, I mean, I'll still do some containers, but I doubt I'll be doing quite as many of the like big containers in the same way that I was in those big plastic containers in this garden. But if I decide I want bigger containers, I just decided what I will do is go ahead and get some more of the grow bags, because honestly, as far as growing like vegetables go, like growing peppers and eggplants, the big 15-gallon grow bags were really the best, for that kind of thing. They actually were enough space. to grow, and although they do dry out a little bit quicker, you don't deal with as many issues with like them getting waterlogged, or I don't know, just sometimes maybe it's just me and how I like to water and everything, but the terracotta pots and the grow bags just tend to work better for me. Of course, that was here in Virginia where it's very, very humid and very wet, and of course I'm going to be moving to, I think, a little bit of a drier climate, but we're just going to roll with it. And yeah, I think I'm just going to leave those plastic containers with some friends and stuff and not try to bother having them moved. But terracotta pots, one, they're just more of an investment, and two, mine are starting to get like nice and aged. You know, they're starting to get that good patina, so I don't want to lose them. I want to keep them. So that, I guess, has been my step 2 in my moving process, which is packing up all the containers, sorting out what I'm keeping, what's going, and starting the process of staging the garden. And then I will bring you with me for the next step, which I think, oh, excuse me, sweetie, which will be maybe like putting some compost mulch on the top of the beds and doing some mulching over the ground and just getting the whole thing looking, you know, really beautiful for showing the house. So that is the process with that. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.